You are watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, how eating wheat and dairy can make you fat. With us, we have Christa Orecchio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, before we get into today's topic, for people that don't know you,
Yes.
I actually know you through TV. So you're on Fox 5 every Thursday.
Every Thursday morning at 9:05, the segment is Food is Medicine.
Yeah, and I thought she's really good on TV.
Thank you.
You know, really good. And I'm a
Just
connoisseur.
passionate.
I like to watch people on TV. But you have your own TED. You have a TED Talk. You have a PBS special that's
Coming
It's coming
yes.
soon.
Mind, body, spirit
You
approach
have
to
an
health.
anti-inflammatory diet cookbook. You're friends with Cheryl Teagues. Did I leave anything out here?
We've got a lot going on, trying to spread the mission as far and as wide. A couple of other books are mixed in there and a few other things.
So 8 years. Tell me about Whole Journey for people that don't know what it is.
Sure.
Who's the typical person that goes there, and what do you treat?
Well, the Whole Journey, we're a team of nutritionists. We're clinical and we're also holistic. So we will do all of the labs and things like that to find the root cause of a health issue. But then we are very much focused on bio-individuality, and we look at all parts of the person. So mind, body, spirit, and really spin out a program for true transformation. So if we do our jobs correctly, it's finishing work. It's not just
Okay.
another diet that they're trying or something they're checking out. They understand their own body inside and out and how to be their own best doctor, how to be flexible with their food for the rest of their life. That is
What about results?
a greatest gift. Sure. Losing weight, more energy, sleeping better, feeling digestion infinitely improved, hormonal balance. I mean, these are things that are within our reach. So many of us can be off of meds and really functioning very well. If you give the body what it needs, it will heal itself. I
good.
stand by that philosophy.
And you've
It's
seen
true
it
and
happen.
true.
You've seen it happen.
8 years I've been doing this, and I'll tell you, it never doesn't work.
Good, good. Okay, let's start with wheat. This is a hot topic. I said I want to talk about
a hot
wheat
topic.
and dairy. Let's start with wheat.
Okay.
Why? Well, first off, how can it make you fat? And also, why is it so unhealthy for you, in your
Yes.
opinion? Because some people may say, by the way, the critics may say, we were meant to eat wheat. Wheat's good for you. Grains are good for you.
Oh, sure. My best friend challenges me all the time. So this is just a fad. This is just a trend. And it's really not. And so I'm not talking about the wheat that our grandparents and our great-grandparents ate.
Okay.
I'm talking about modern wheat. In the last 50 years, we started scientifically engineering wheat. And that is the stuff that is frankenfood or frankenwheat that is making us fat. It's giving us autoimmune disease.
Making us fat, why? Raising blood sugar?
It's raising our blood sugar. It's raising our blood sugar dramatically, and it has this super starch in it called amylopectin, which regular wheat, real wheat that our grandparents and great-grandparents ate never had. And so let's say you eat a potato, for example, and your
Yes.
body knows how to convert that to energy. You eat this super wheat, this frankenwheat, and the body doesn't know how to convert it to energy. It just says store it as fat. Let's keep the body safe. Let's store this strange stuff as fat. It's a super starch. But it also makes us fat because it's addictive.
Okay.
So it has a protein in it called gliadin, and that protein works off of receptors in the brain to make us crave more.
Interesting.
And so the average person who's consistently eating this modern wheat eats about 440 extra calories of empty calories, because it's not going to make you crave the good stuff, a day. That's just
wheat,
unbelievable.
So any kind of flour, right?
Yeah, the
I mean,
normal
bagels,
stuff.
wheat, I mean, anything like that.
Bagels, wheat, breakfast cereals that are made of this modern, scientifically engineered wheat. But also it's sneaky because it's cheap. So it's moved its way into sauces and salad dressings. People use it, they use it as a sauce thickener. It's even in lipstick and on what you're sealing the envelopes with.
So when you talk about wheat, are you talking about gluten too? Always together?
Yeah, wheat and gluten basically, yeah, they're going hand in hand. Gluten, in our modern wheat, it has 3 times the amount of gluten than the wheat of South America or of Europe. And so too much gluten, a little bit would be fine in the ancient grains and in the wheat that we were supposed to eat. But having too much gluten is pro-inflammatory. So now we're talking rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and all of the autoimmune problems getting much worse. It's incredibly acidic, so that will make osteoporosis worse, and it damages the lining of the gut. And I'd say at least
Like the
80%
intestinal
of
tract,
the
the whole
people, the whole intestinal tract.
It sticks to it, I guess.
It sticks to it. It's inflammatory towards it, and I'd say at least 80% of the people that walk in my office, when I get them off of gluten, they'll think that they have had IBS for years and all these problems. 2 weeks later, they come bouncing in like a different person. And they
Really?
didn't realize that they were auto-intoxicating for so long. And I think 80% of the work I do as a nutritionist is teaching people how to navigate the landmine that the food supply
You've
has
explained
become.
before, and I've heard you, that people, I guess, don't look at wheat as sugar.
They
Right?
don't.
I mean, your body treats it like sugar.
Your
right?
body treats it like sugar, and there's a great book out there called Wheat Belly. I don't know if you've read it.
I have read it.
Okay,
Love it.
It's a great book, and they did an experiment on Dr. Oz where they said that 2 teaspoons of sugar, when you have two pieces of wheat bread, it's the equivalent of 2 teaspoons of sugar. And so they took 5 women and they had them eating candy bars. And they also had another 5 women, and they had them eating wheat bread. And 3 out of 5 women, their blood sugar spiked worse with the wheat than with the candy bar.
Like a Snickers bar. Do you know what kind of a bar it was, by any chance?
They mentioned Snickers.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Snickers
Snicker
or
bar,
a Milky Way or one of the.
Snicker bar, ate the bread, and
Measure
they
their
had
blood
a
sugar
bigger
levels.
spike in blood sugar. Interesting. Now, the other part about this, obviously, is the insulin release.
Yes.
That insulin, which is a fat-storing hormone as
Yes.
well. I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of good things about it. But so you're better off eating the Snickers than the bread?
Neither
possibly?
one of them, hopefully. But unfortunately, yeah, it seems that way.
But the Snickers has fat in it, right? Is that what's slowing
The Snickers
the
has
conversion or
the
something?
fat to slow the release of glucose in the system. So that could be one hypothesis, right? The peanuts,
Okay.
the fat in there. Or it's just that the body can actually recognize it and use it and then convert it.
That's interesting. Did that surprise you, by the way, when you heard that
Yeah.
little study?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Now you tell every one of your clients?
yeah, every one of them, especially the ones that have diabetes or they're taking their blood sugar regularly, and that just blows them away when I say just do an experiment on your own.
So wheat. Anything else bad about it that we need to know?
Well, you have the superstarch, you have the gliadin, which is addictive, and then you have gluten. I mean, isn't that enough? You have 3.
So you have nothing
three
nice
of
to
those
say
things.
about
You
wheat.
have 3 strikes against you. But the thing is there's so many healthy alternatives.
Okay.
And so I'm never about deprivation, denial, willpower. It's just learning. Spelt and kamut. Have you tried either one of those?
No.
Okay, those are
I've had
ancient.
paleo bread.
Well, paleo
It
bread's
has no
great.
flavor. They figured out a way to...
You need to toast it or it tastes like cardboard.
I've tried
Yes.
toasting it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it.
Have you ever met anybody that likes paleo bread?
I think the coconut flour one is better rated than the almond flour paleo bread, but no.
Not a good idea. So wheat across the board is not good.
The modern wheat, but if you can get spelt or kamut, we get 00 flour from Europe. That's the real wheat, and that doesn't affect people. It doesn't give them
Is that
digestive
right?
problems.
But it has
doesn't
gluten, though.
make them fat. Yeah, but it's an amount of gluten that the body recognizes. It knows what to do with. It can process it. It's just what's real and what's not real, and the body's an organic organism. If it can't process it, it's going to store it as fat.
And so when a client goes to see you,
yes.
and you take them off wheat, what are some of the things that maybe even surprise you as far as them getting rid of some symptoms or losing weight or things like that?
We had one client, and she looked like a completely different person to the point where one of my other nutritionists didn't recognize her walking in after 2 weeks when she got off of gluten. She was only 35, she was 40 pounds overweight, and she had this cystic acne that nothing that she could do would get rid of it. Her skin was clear, it was glowing, her digestion was working better, and she lost 15 pounds in the first month. And I see that typically when you are having a sensitivity to wheat and you're just loading up on this stuff with every meal, 15 pounds is pretty simple.
Okay, good. So dairy. Anything else you want to say about wheat?
I really want to talk about the thyroid
Okay.
and implications that we run a lot of labs and we see a lot of Hashimoto's. When people come back with thyroid antibodies,
Okay.
I get them off of gluten. I say you need to avoid it like the plague. 50% of the problem is solved and the thyroid starts to heal itself. So to me, it's food is medicine, or food is a slower form of poison. So anybody with thyroid issues should be off of gluten completely.
Everybody gets off gluten. And so how long have you been off of bread and wheat?
Well, I am 100% Italian, so I will eat the bread if it's really good bread, and I know where it comes from. But I would say I've been into this work for the last 10 years, so I definitely minimize the amount of gluten that I have.
rice pasta, okay, but still high glycemic?
I love
food?
brown rice pasta, and it's what you pair with it, a little bit of fat, have some protein with it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
So
brown
you
rice
will give
pasta.
people alternatives. Because somebody watching this may say, well, what am I supposed to eat in the morning? Right?
Oh, I created an entire product review site for this reason that has 400 products that are reviewed and a healthy product swap. So if you have this, try this. If you like this, try that. And so that it's all done for you. And then you just start to shop differently, and your house is different, your health is different.
So they could go to your website.
They can go to our website.
And so if somebody's eating Cheerios in the morning, I've got a feeling you're not a fan of Cheerios. Is that right?
I'm not a huge fan of Cheerios.
It's good for your heart, according to the ads, right?
According to the ads, it's great for your cholesterol.
So everybody, you know what, tell me this. It seems like when everybody's on a diet, people that are really overweight, the first thing they do is low-fat skim milk and a wheat cereal in the morning. You're saying that's wrong.
And then they put fruit on it, which is terrible food combining.
So you're saying that's wrong.
That's just a metabolic nightmare straight out of the gate. Yes. Yeah, that's wrong.
Do people want to argue about this? But do people argue about this with you? Are there any people that try to say, yeah, but...
Not maybe people I'm talking to in my personal life, but clients are coming to us for our advice, so they're pretty much willing to try it.
Good.
Yeah, that's just it's a nightmare to start off with that type of breakfast.
So your personal friends eat wheat?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Some of my East Coast friends.
Would you ever date a guy that eats wheat? Or there's no way. There's nothing in common.
Oh, I don't know
on a regular
about that.
basis.
He's got to eat clean.
Eating
clean, that's just a deal breaker.
But not like wheat every day.
Yeah.
That'd be a deal breaker. Okay, let's move on to dairy. You say eating dairy is also pretty bad for you.
Yeah.
Let's define what dairy is found in.
What dairy is found in? Well, obviously milk and cheese and cream and yogurt and all of those good things, but it's in a lot of different sauces and salad dressings. But again, it's the type of dairy. So I'm not a fan of pasteurized dairy at all. But I am a fan of raw dairy, and we use it for GI repair protocols. We use it to help kids heal from asthma. Any MD would tell you I was crazy, but every one of my prenatal plans, I have these mothers drinking raw milk to support their prenatal plan. Obviously, you need to know where it comes from.
What about some of the people that may argue that after 6 or 8 years old, you lose the enzyme to digest lactose? That the whole planet is somewhat lactose intolerant, and maybe humans shouldn't be eating
any dairy.
Baby, cow's milk.
Yeah. Well,
or cow's milk.
That is a valid point, Randy, and I agree with it to some extent. So
why is the dairy then good for these people with asthma and things like that?
Because so many kids they're not breastfed. There's environmental allergies. We are pasteurizing everything. So we're killing the good bacteria and the bad bacteria indiscriminately. And humans are made of bacteria. We're covered in an invisible body armor for it. So by killing all of the good bacteria, we are thrashing our immune system. And so it's a way of food-based. Food is medicine. I use it for healing, but not to stay on, to repopulate the good flora and to rebuild the digestive system. Yes, of course. You do get good probiotics from the raw dairy. Obviously, you need to know the source so you know that it's clean. That's the most important.
So you can have the raw milk. What are other sources of cheese that would be?
Sure, there's all kinds of
anything
raw
that's
cheese.
Unpasteurized?
Yes.
Is that right?
But you want to know where it comes from. It should come from grass-fed cows or grass-fed goats.
And they're labeled like that?
They're labeled because you're eating what that animal ate. I would never drink raw milk from a cow that ate corn. That will make you fat. That will be bad for you. If you have the raw milk from a cow who ate grass, you're getting all of those omega-3s. Just like if you had a plate full of salad or a plate full of corn, much different interaction in your body.
All right. Now, what about goat cheese? Why not just have goat cheese?
Sure. You can
rather
have goat
than
cheese.
A non-pasteurized cow.
I'm a fan of goat cheese. It digests in 20 minutes. Takes about 8 hours to digest cow's milk products. And so we run a lot of blood panels on food sensitivities, and you're drilling down the formula of what works for that particular person. And so some people do better off of goat than they do off of cow.
Okay, so what conditions then do you help or treat with like raw milk?
So much of the standard American diet is deficient in the fat-soluble vitamins in A and D, and so I use it mostly to rebuild immune protocols. In almost all of our immune protocols, we're using raw milk. If somebody has an underlying virus or something we're trying to eradicate, you need superfoods as nourishment, and so that will be one that I'll use for asthma. Some digestive problems, I use raw milk, and again, all prenatal plans.
So raw milk, and then so when a person goes to you, right, and they usually have a problem. Either they want to lose weight, they feel lousy. Most of what you do is a referral? I mean, they're referring to each other to get to you? Like, how do you get people?
We find that we're pretty much the last stop. And well, now, I mean, we've just been out there for a while, for 8 years, and through different articles, through social media, through the news segments, and people find us. But I'd say 80% referral based, and that's the proof is in the pudding. People say, you look totally different. Your life is completely different. It's not just about healing the physical body, because when you feel great, you do different things with your time. You spend more time with family. You have more to offer people, and you can actually self-actualize. So that's why I do what I do. Is get the physical body in order, so you can really do what you're meant to be doing.
Okay. Now we are out of time, but could we talk about dairy?
Yes.
We talked about wheat.
Yes.
Food sensitivities.
Yes.
Because at the top I said could make you fat. Food allergies, food sensitivities could also make you fat, you say.
Absolutely. The way that they make you fat, so the 5 most common food sensitivities are wheat, dairy, corn, soy, and eggs. I could talk about this for hours, but the reason,
You think you could bore me with this
I don't
talk?
know. I could bore you for hours.
Okay.
But so those are the 5 most common food sensitivities. You want to find the right formula for your body. Now, the way it makes you fat is digestion is the cornerstone of your health. If that's not working, you really don't have a shot at lasting hormonal balance.
Okay.
You really don't have a shot at your immune system functioning. So the body is basically just trying to process this stuff that doesn't belong in it. How can it work your metabolism? And it puts a stress on the whole body. So take away what you don't need, add what you do, come to life.
Okay, good. Okay, so if somebody wants to get started with, I guess, all of the nutritionists, it's your business.
Yes.
Everybody has the same philosophy. And are they protocols? I mean, you individualize it. Do you have protocols for different things?
Sure. Well, we have a 3-month program that we put people through. And yes, we have customized protocols, but we are highly customized, and so to the mind, body, spirit, what's going on. We're looking at all aspects of someone's life, and so sometimes they get our protocol, and we may never talk about it, depending on where they're going and what their health is about.
Well, thank you for coming to the show. Very nice.
Pleasure.
Very nice.
Great to be here.
You've been watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. I wish you good health.